Mentally preparing.
Mentally, I like to challenge myself.
Hey, there's no shame in trying things that people ain't never tried before.
This channel is pure degeneracy, and for good reason. Your dick is a gateway to heaven. Literally, I think. But also a way to understand yourself, others, and the world better. Understanding what you're into and what you aren't, especially what you aren't, you can develop. It's like the Princess Bride, NTR for instance. If you take a little poison every day and face the poison, and just take it. Just take a little bit every now and then. One day when everything falls apart or you need to take a full dose, it won't kill you, and you can survive because you understand it. You understand what it is, how it affects you, and you build a tolerance. But maybe everything I just said was Teller, Nestor, whatever bullshit, a cushion. Discussing your experiences and what you learned is easier than discussing your true core interests and fears, especially if you don't really understand them. Because if you don't understand them, and someone else knows you don't understand them, they'll step in and twist them, and twist you, and tell you what you are, whether or not they understand them, or you, or any of that. Because that's just what people do. People want power over other people. So you're very protective, boys. My real core, sneaky, I'm into very, very large women. Or very, very small men. I'll spare you the nuances, because I want this video to be listenable, and this physically hurts me. Now, one key is brutality and indifference, and insignificance by extension. It's size differences like that. It's like those old paintings, like the monk in the sea, and the oxbow, where it's humans are very small, weak things, and nature is incomprehensibly huge. Or sort of like Lovecraft, even. I remember when I was 10 or 11, and I read a graphic story for the first time when I really understood what was going on. And it was about a guy just trying to get his girlfriend's attention, and he was very small for like a week or something, until he eventually starved to death. And it made me vomit when I was a kid. I went into my bathroom and threw up, because there was nothing he could do. Right? He couldn't get her attention, he couldn't get help, he just died. Starved to death. And it's still good shit, it still gets the willy wiggling. Or misunderstandings or biological or emotional distance. Those are other really good ones. In the second one, I mentioned a story where one lead, they were both women in that one, became a second-class citizen. I neglected the size difference portion, of course. But because of their size difference, they drifted apart, physically and emotionally. And it ended. And there was nothing they could do. There was no sex in that one at all, and that was phenomenal. Then, alternatively, there are ones where rather than one person gets small, the other person gets big. And those are good too. I'm less interested in those, but it's all under the same umbrella. Boys, I think those are more about scale. I mean, they're all about scale, but Hollywood scale. Boys, not that that's bad. Some are interesting, especially the ones where the growing person starts screwing stuff up or breaking things and they can't help it. That's pretty good. Embarrassment is good. All that stuff, there's stuff to like there. It's just not my absolute favorite. But, I mean, size kinda goes with everything. It's like a modifier. So, shit, you might not have ever been interested in feet, but now you're looking at feet. And that goes with everything. It's a good way to get around without really being into it. Giant GF is like joining the Navy. Boys, sail the sea, see the world. Except with less pay and less shame. God, I couldn't imagine being in the Navy. How disgusting and degenerate is that? Jesus Christ. Thank God that's not me. Ugh. But on the other hand, size is a really good way to get into ships. So, maybe it really is like the Navy. God. Fuck. I fell at the first hurdle. But where did this originate? I really don't know. It's hard to say. Every time I have a memory and an explanation worked out, I find a new memory and make a new explanation. Every year, every few months, this happens. I'll remember something else, and it will imply a different origin or meaning. So I really don't know specifically. But I do have two memories. Well, three, I guess. There were many kids' shows with size episodes. Jimmy Neutron had one, or a couple. The Fairly Odd Parents had a couple, which were really doing things at a young age. It's like every single kids' show has some fetish episode. Children's cartoons are disgusting. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's an unconscious thing or a purposeful thing, but there's something going on there. Because if you have a degenerate lens, you'll go back and you'll see things. And when you're a kid... Because I don't know if any one thing does it. Honestly, I think you're born that way. Because I've been like this as long as I can remember. And even from times before I could remember, I've heard accounts from people that I was doing things that sounded like someone like me would be doing it if I was a kid, if that makes sense. Like, obsessively looking underneath things. Or obsessing over giant work equipment or robots. That's right, boys. If you liked Evangelion, you might actually be fucking gay. You might want to get yourself checked. Hard to say, though. Memory 2, Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies on PlayStation 2. That game had me fucked up from kindergarten to the 2nd grade when my disc broke. There were a few size segments in there. Nickelodeon knew what it was doing. Nickelodeon had the goods, boys. They knew. They knew. Memory 3, I'm on the playground in kindergarten with a girl I used to talk to. I was slaying. Even back in kindergarten. Kindergarten, boys. And we're just sitting there talking, and then she starts like smashing ants with her thumb and mumbling about how much she hates them. Like, fuck ants. Fuck, I hate ants. Fucking ants, I fucking hate them. In the kindergarten vernacular. And it's like some shitty copy pasta, but I'm sitting there with my chin on my fist. I'm just watching and listening, and Something is happening here, and I don't know what it is, and I don't have the vocabulary or the understanding to ask, but I feel it, boys. So, no specific memory or origin. I was just a cool killer from birth. We can't all be this cool, boys. I'm sorry. I deducted some of your bad mother flipper stats from your... Well, I leached your points from birth. That makes me sound like a not good person. So, you have the brutality and indifference angle. You have the insignificance angle. You have the social distance or powerlessness angle. There used to be tenderness angles, but those disappeared when I was like 14, give or take a little bit. Started earlier, ended later, but 14, tenderness angles disappeared. But what do all these angles mean? Well, I have a few theories there too, but they always change also. constantly updating. And they're all probably as right or wrong as they can be. So, rather than divide them and experience them separately, we'll knock them out all at once, together, because they all intertwine anyways. Like a DLC quadrilogy for a really good game. All DLCs better experienced together than individually, because the larger story they all tell is New Vegas is a really good game. So I think the willy-waggling stimulus coming off the brutality, insignificance, powerlessness, indifference is two things. One, it's the world, right? Life. Because it's monolithic and you can't understand it, and no matter how hard you try, you won't beat it. Even if you were immortal, you wouldn't win. There isn't a win state. You can't control eternity. So I think eternity is part of it. Then two, it's projecting eternity onto my partner's sexuality. Why? I don't know completely. Men have been trying to understand women forever, and we will keep trying to understand them forever. I mean, you can build ways to deal with them, but you can't get them. And I think that might have something to do with it. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It's projecting everything I don't know onto a thing I don't understand. Or it's projecting everything I don't understand onto one conduit. Yeah, one conduit, that works. Women are conduits, boys. Well, I said earlier, I think literally your dick is a gateway to heaven. And interfacing with eternity through whatever conduit it is. I mean, I get the same feelings, sexual feelings, in places, non-sexual places. So I think your dick is your way to interface with eternity, and women might be good conduits for that. Maybe. Woo! Woo! Ooh boy. Ooh boy. I don't know. All I have are vague ideas. So, for now, we'll stick with projecting eternity and interfacing with eternity. But those are the super abstract angles. How does this manifest, literally, in relationships? Well, I've said before, they make relationships challenging, and one of the reasons I am very... I don't know if the word is ashamed, but it's not righteous, what I've been doing the last few months, because it's been suppressing what I am to be what I think other people want me to be. It makes real, genuine relationships challenging, because women don't want bitch men they have to carry. And I'm not a bitch man someone has to carry. But I'm also not God. You know, I'm not a Superman. I can't carry you. Why should I carry you, too? Because what are you doing for me? And I don't want to. I have myself to worry about. I work hard to take care of myself, and you want me to do all these things for you, women general, and I don't want to, I can't. And I don't want to because you give me nothing in return. You don't want a man who's a leech, but you're a leech. I'll tell you, the one nice thing obscure fetishes do is limit pussy's power over you. I mean, powerful men will throw their lives away to get in a woman's pants. But with our condition, they can't give you what you want, or they won't try to give you what you want, because powerful men will throw their lives away to get in their pants, so why bother with you? They can't or won't give you what you want, what you need. So you get to keep what you have, and you get to be real picky. With your love, I mean. I'm attracted to people who I think might be better than me, or who have something I don't or want. And when I was younger, much younger, to cope with this, I debased myself, subjected myself to other people, lowered myself so I could find people better than me, which is a really shitty strategy. If you're hypergamous, never lower yourself. Because then you're some loser's bitch. And being a bitch isn't good. And my audience is mainly male. If you need to be a bitch, at least be a really high-rolling person's bitch. You know what I mean? Don't lower yourself and be some fucking loser's bitch. But I don't want to be a bitch, and I don't want to lower myself. Been there, done that. It sucked. Not worth it. Because, believe it or not, boys, I like to think I'm the best person alive. Or one of the best. And I want to find someone who's either better than me or can keep me on my feet. I don't think there's anyone better than me. You know what I mean? I just think I'm the greatest. But I'd like to find someone who can at least match me. Or has something else to match me. On one hand, to be that eternity, that unbeatable, unflinching, indifferent eternity, maybe. But certainly because, holy fuck, I can't fight eternity. You know what I mean? Eternity sweeps in and crushes you and you're dead and that's it. And you move on. If I break my arm, or I lose my job, or I have some kind of breakdown or something, I don't want someone who will leave me because I can't keep up. And I also don't want to be with someone I'd have to leave if they fell apart because they can't keep up. I don't want to subject myself and be trampled on all the time, and I don't want to be a bitch all the time. Talking about society and life now, not bedroom stuff. I still like getting my shit kicked in or forgotten or whatever. But living, doing things. You know what I mean? I like doing things. I write. I have a YouTube channel. I have aspirations. I have dreams. I don't want to be a fucking house husband. But I really don't want a housewife all that much either. How will a housewife support you if you lose your mind one day? And that's a really tough sell for most women, because while they say they agree, and they're willing, and oh my god, that's so respectful, and wow, that's really great, you're great, all this stuff, they don't mean it. They don't really want that. They don't really want the reins. I don't know why. It's like I don't know if they can't handle it or they just don't want it. But I don't want someone who can't handle directing. Because one day I won't be able to direct. And I don't want someone relying on me who can't direct. I'm attracted to pillars. And I think there's a difference between a pillar and an independent woman. Because whenever you see someone say an independent woman or call themselves an independent woman, it's a meme. It's an idea. Independent women, quotes, either subject themselves to a man behind closed doors, or to an organization or an idea. Independent woman is dependent upon the independent woman idea. They can't just be that. That's what I mean by pillars. Like, a pillar is someone who just is what they are. I can't find an independent woman who isn't an independent woman, quotes, who just is what they are. I have never found one. I haven't met one, encountered one. And I'm afraid they don't exist. But I don't think I would be the way I am for as long as I have been, which I think from birth, unless they existed. And the kinkery coup, which goes beyond a kink, I think, despite its jankiness, like, it doesn't want to work. Society isn't set up for it to work, but I think it can, because I exist the way I am, and I'm functional, and that feels righteous. That feels divine. So, boys, because I think we've rambled enough, big summary. Nature's brutality and indifference, the universe's, eternity's inescapable defeat. Inescapable defeat. Bridged, accessed, communicated with via your dick. Your partner as the conduit, maybe. Or as the thing itself, or projected onto, or something. Kinks are more than kinks, I thinks. Maybe you're born with them, maybe you aren't. How do they affect you? No idea. What do they mean? No idea. But they mean something because they're righteous. Society wants you to be one thing and tells you you need to be that way, and people will tell you you need to be that way, but you were born the way you are. And whether that's nature or God, or nature as God, or God as nature, you are what you are, and you should be that, because the Bible, jinkety jink, it might funk, but God don't create no junk, or God through nature, or nature through God, or just nature. You are what you are for a reason. Do that. And I'm convinced good women exist. And I think that's all. Boys, I think that's everything. Nice and tight with a little bow. But that about rippity wraps this one up. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I certainly enjoyed making it. It was a little physically painful at first, but it's easy. It got easier. It's nice getting stuff off your chest. With the biology thing, or with the way you need to be thing, I realized all the men in my family are hypergamous. Like, my grandfather fucked his way from third world into lower class America, and then my dad fucked his way from lower class America into middle class America. So I'm one step away from controlling the world. You are the way you are for a reason, and you shouldn't let anyone make you feel or make you be a way you don't want to be. No matter what you are. Even if you're a purebred cuck, don't let people fuck you around, dude. Because you're better than them. When you're better than people, who are they to tell you what you need to be? Like if you enjoyed, because that helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't, because we do this shit sometimes. And comment your thoughts, because I love hearing from you. I really don't know what to do with this comment section. So, do whatever. Because I love hearing from you. But thanks again for watching, everybody, really. We have a lot of fun on this channel. So much fun, in fact, you could take a little metal boy and twist it around and scrape all the foam out of the thing that's preventing you from doing the thing you want, and then your headphones work. that's how much fun we have on this channel. And I look forward to doing this with you guys again in the future.